Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. Chief guest of today's function, Shri Pawan Agrawal ji, Shri Sanjay Singh ji, President IPTA, Mr. Ganesh Bhattvi, Vice President IPTA, Raghavendra Heber, Mr. M.K. Goyal, fellow delegates, guests, and dear friends. It's a pleasure and I'm honored to be here with my fraternity, of which I have been a proud member for the last 40 years in different capacities. And I congratulate IPTA for attending, for organizing this AGM and seminar at Delhi in physical form after a gap of about 2.5 years. Because human interaction is the fuel for growth of any organization. IPTA has always been blessed by senior people, owners of the mills, senior technocrats, always. And with their blessings and support, today we stand where we are. Today, in this hall, we are blessed with the presence of Shri B.M. Khanna ji, with his entire family, with Mr. Saurabh Khanna, Rahul Khanna. I had a great pleasure to work with them. Excellent entrepreneurs. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. I would request you to give a round of applause to Shri Khanna ji. Last night, we had a presidential dinner. And I was thinking what to speak today. Shri A.S. Mehta ji said one thing, that we are having food, but at the same time we should have some food for thoughts. During dinner I could not think, but when I came back to my room, I thought, what food for thought I should speak tomorrow. Because the problem is, today, anybody, you may be expert on any field. Today if you ask somebody, like Mr. Goyal mentioned, how is the industry doing? I don't think it's a right question, because if you put it, which sector, which company, which was not the case before actually. I can tell you, there are people from trading community here, our friends, our colleagues. 3 days ago, we had to execute an order. And our customer said, we want price for next 1 quarter. I myself did all these things. I said, yes, we will do it. And Padamji Paper Products Limited is a specialty mill based. We purchase all our, whether it is imported pulp or some imported waste paper. 2 days later, the raw material prices went up by $120 in 2 days. What can we quote today? Particularly for those mills that have got their dependence on the raw material which is purchased. That has been the situation. What we see today, the changes which used to take place in 10 years roughly have taken place in 1 year. How to adjust or adopt yourself with our kind of infrastructure to make changes within a year for 10 years. Difficult time. So my food for thought was maybe slightly negative, but there is instability, there is unpredictability, there is a market volatility. I've just given you an example of market volatility. But Mehta Sahab also said one more thing. We may say anything, there have been challenges always. And there have been opportunities always. So why should we not think of things to improve the paper industry, all sectors together? And with that spirit in mind, I thought I may continue to share my observations with you of paper industry of last 40 years. It's very difficult to do it in the time allotted to me. I've been a teacher, so I like talking for longer time, but that's not what you do in a conference like this. There are a lot of myths about paper industry. And the problem is, we have never addressed them. In last 6-7 years, We have started doing something. Paper day, WhatsApp messages, good work has been done. But to my mind, it is more internal. We are doing it, we are sending messages, but I think it's not having the desired impact. 3 days ago, there was somebody who is, a media stalwart. I met him at some place in Muzaffarnagar. And, we are having discussion. Even that kind of enlightened person with media, he tells me, "Aap to log sab ped kaate, you cut trees." That took me, I said, I cut trees, but you know what kind of trees we cut? For him, the tree was a tree. So I had to, kind of talk to him, offer him coffee and all that, because he's an influential guy. So try to make him understand. So friends, what I want to say is, whether it is IPMA, IRA, PMA, IPTA or whatever, we have to get together, FPTA. We have to create, the financial resources. It's not going to happen like this. It will not happen just by sending messages or by doing things. Even if we do paper day, whom are we? It's a very good step. Whom are we inviting? So internally we all know. So we have to create, it's a part of image building today. We have to create that image. And that image has to be created among people who perceive us as an industry which destroys this, destroys that, which is not true at all. Maybe we have to start with the children in schools, because that will be a great part of image building. I know we have not been spending, Mehta Sahab, enough money from paper industry in last so many years to do this and to do that image building. I know you personally have done a lot of efforts. We all collectively must ensure that next 1 or 2 years we spend in our image building. And the way we, of course, it's not for the IPTA to do it alone, we conduct some kind of image building seminar where, along with technical things, we call those people who matter, make people aware, because finally it is your image that matters. Okay, with these initial observations, you have to bear with me for some few minutes. I just want to, number of you know here, one thing I'm little not so happy to see, there are not many youngsters here, because in India what happens? We consider all youngsters below 60, but I would personally like to see many people who should come and attend IPTA who are, 40 or less than that. Nothing wrong, senior guys, I'm also on that category, but we should have, but if you see the room today which has been happening, all should come, senior people should definitely come, but we should really encourage the youngsters. These are the people who will take care of responsibility, and all this which we keep on saying, we don't get people, they are not retained and all that. I think to a large extent these things can be taken care of. As I said, there are a lot of myths of paper industry, but I personally am very proud to work for this industry, this sector. We have done a lot. Many of you who are here, who have seen the industry grow in last 40 years, the way it was. So I would just like to take you, everything cannot be done in this amount of time, but let me tell you what we have done technology-wise first. Let's say about pulp mill. What is the size of operation? Most mills earlier used to be, I would say, 150 tons per day. That's, I'm saying, on a higher side. Around 1980s, if you remember, some of you who are here, when wood used to be only raw material, actually not wood, bamboo was the main raw material. And at that time, the government allowed the import of machineries. And what was the capacity of the mills? 10,000 tons per year, 30 tons a day based on agriculture residues and waste paper. And I used to be in IPT, Saharanpur. We used to go for the capacity assessment to say whether it is 10,200 or 9,800, so that they get the rebate from excise. Today, and we should be proud of, today there are number of mills in our country in all sectors which makes more than 1,000 tons per day at single location. There are many single machines that make more than 400 tons of paper or board, maybe even more. So we should take a pride in doing that we have traveled this journey. On raw material front, Bamboo was a raw material, silica was an issue, and there used to be all pollution problems. What do we use today? Hardwood plantation, eucalyptus, casuarina, subabul, agroforestry, bagasse, wheat straw, and mostly 70% of the production is from waste paper. There are issues which are very specific to our country as far as the raw material is concerned, which I'll come back little later. How about pulping? We used to have soda pulping with hardly very little sulfidity. Today we have chemical pulping. Nobody thought of few years ago that we'll have a BCTMP mill in this country. Today we have. Nobody thought of that we'll be having BCTMP mill. And at least in my lifetime, it is not going to happen. And when I say zero liquid discharge, I'm talking about an integrated full-fledged mill. I'm not talking about a craft mill which makes unbleached grades. They can go down to probably 2-3 cubic meter per ton of paper. But an integrated mill today, the way it is, whether it is wood-based and agro-based, less than 50 cubic meter per ton is very difficult as the technology stands today. And it's not worldwide also. If we see a pulp mill of that kind, I think we had done some calculations at IPMA, still they are consuming about 42 cubic meter per ton of paper. Mill-wise, things can be different, but that is the level. But today what is happening? For last, 30 mills participated. And those mills were more than 100 tons per day. I tell you, it created great awareness. They rated industry twice. Rating may not be right or whatever it is, but I think most companies at that point of time realized the importance, how we have to handle our operations. So I think CSC at that time did a good job. After that, if you see next 10 years, I'd see a lot of activities in Indian paper industry. If you see 2000 to 2010's period, so much of money was spent in paper industry, it was never done before. Pulp mill gets modernized. Paper machine, white circuits got closed because you have to reduce the water consumption. Efficient disc filters, Seawalls were either upgraded or installed, and because of that, the ETP operation greatly improved. There was a focus on waste minimization and cleaner production. These are, again, why I'm referring to CSC, because CSC is an NGO. There are industry data, but I'm referring to that which is done by an independent agency. They later reviewed the performance of the mills based on the rating exercise which was done earlier. And these are the results from their study. You see the reduction in pulping, and that is up to 2012-13. After that also, number of initiatives have been taken to further reduce it. Lime consumption, bleaching chemical. This is a wastewater characteristic. See, water usage. I remember, we were two people from paper industry. There was, if you remember, there was CRAP 1, CRAP 2. Corporate Responsibility for Environmental Protection. So every industry has to give two people. So myself and one Mr. Vardhan, we were there. When we were negotiating, it was kind of a negotiation. It was nothing like, it was not, CPCB in the beginning said it is voluntary. So what happened? Water consumption, if you remember, used to be 250, 200 cubic meter per ton of paper. When we talked to there, and we somehow agreed about 150. And when we came back, both of us, and presented it to the management, or when the senior people, they really abused us. Abused us in the sense, how can you expect 150 cubic meter per ton of paper? We will never be able to achieve it. And you know what is the situation today? Everybody started doing efforts. This is the data of 2012-13, 68 cubic meter. Depending upon the product that we make, people are achieving 50, 40 figures. And whether you make board or what is the raw material. So we have traveled a long way. The point that I want to make is, if there is a will, without any pressure, we can do a lot. And that's what the industry is doing and will continue to do. Same thing happened about BOD, COD and TSS. Paper industry has been regularly making improvement. That's what I say, the image building. I have met some of the people who have not worked in paper industry but comes from academics and research, they think that we still don't run the ETP. I know, either people and my colleagues and friends, I think first thing that we see in the morning when I go to the office, how much ETP was working. In fact, it has gone to a lower level now because ETP is definitely working very well. What I say, have there been any discharges which are abnormal from pulp mill or recovery of paper machine? That is the area of concern for every senior executive today. Now the issue is CPCB in 2014 again, they did first revision in 2018. They also did continuous emission monitoring. You have your own experiences with that, but still I think we all are hooked up with the server of State Pollution Control Board and CPCB. And we also know what are the problems. The issue today in some of the states, people started talking about GDO liquid discharge. I have discussed with many people and told them, at least in my lifetime, it is not going to happen. And when I say zero liquid discharge, I am talking about an integrated full-fledged mill. I am not talking about a craft mill which makes unbleached grades. They can go down to probably 2-3 cubic meter per ton of paper. But an integrated mill today, the way it is, whether it is wood-based and agro-based, less than 50 cubic meter per ton is very difficult as the technology stands today. And it's not worldwide also. If we see a pulp mill of that kind, I think we had done some calculations at IPMA, still they are consuming about 42 cubic meter per ton of paper. Mill-wise, things can be different, but that is the level. But today what is happening? For last 8 to 10 years, our discharge norms are pending. They have not been notified because the regulatory authorities want to tighten them further. So whenever we make, the only request I would like to make the scientific and other community here, when we make claim, that should be a verified claim. It's not that I put a pilot plant, do something, don't scale it up, don't use everything, and start making a claim, I can do this, I can do that. Yes, if you can do it, kindly demonstrate, because people get a wrong impression. So, but we have to work in that direction, whether it is through pilot plant or whatever. If you permit me, I have, he said time is over, but I'll still take 5 minutes, can I? Okay. The final, I have put some data which is published data. It's about the financial performance of pulp and paper mill before and after COVID. There are 12 mills, I have not given the name, but those who are sitting here probably can make out. They are all integrated, wood-based, agro-based, RCF-based. So just want to show you how the mills have performed. First 4 mills. First mill, integrated wood-based diverse product segment, multi-location, export market they have. Similarly, second, third, fourth mill. 2019-20, 2020-21, 2021-22. And I have taken revenue from operations, EBITDA, which is a percentage of revenue, and PBT. The 12 mills I have given here, it will not be possible because of the time to go into the details. These are 12 mills, agro is also there, RCF is also there, and they are the data which is published data in public domain. And this data is up to Q3 of 2021-22. Some observations I can make. Up to 2019-20, most mills were doing well. I think there was no issue at all. During COVID, the changes which happened in 10 years in the marketplace happened in 1 year was difficult to adopt. 2020-21, all mills suffered financially, but different segments were affected differently. The mills which were operating with diverse market segments were less affected, and the mills with export potential performed better than others. The mills dependent on imported pulp or waste paper faced more hardship, which is still doing, and the mills which were producing only writing printing paper suffered the most. Most mills started recovering from COVID impact from Q4 of 2021-22. The demand kept, the problem today is this month is better, next month we don't know. It can be better or worse. That has become a scenario. Most mills showed good financial recovery, which improved during the year but fluctuated. 2021-22 revenue up to Q3 were almost similar to financial year 2020-21. The mills that I have taken 12 here. But most of us, and probably nobody can be, we were prepared for such kind of a disruption. Now, 2 minutes, a subject very close to my heart, human resource. Most of the mills in paper industry, we talk about IR, not that much of HR. Few mills do. And what we keep on discussing, yaar, अच्छे लोग मिलते नहीं है, there is a problem of quality manpower, retention of competent employees. But do we do enough? Possible solutions, which we all know. I think employee development is the only solution. We have to identify and develop those employees who have potential, identify competencies and develop the same. There should be always a possibility and room for professional training, both in-house and outside. We should periodically review and assess the effectiveness of training and job rotation. Very important. Identify and nurture younger talent. You have to decide in your company what we need to do. And we should trust them with higher responsibility. Senior people are required. Why don't we become mentors and give responsibility to the people? Those companies which have invested in younger talent and trained them, they have suffered less as far as the attrition is concerned, or as far as the people's availability for higher position is concerned. And this will remain. One more request, actually, note and observation. Please pay well to the staff at the entry or junior level. Current CTC, sir, is less. I have interviewed people from different companies, good or big. The entry level CTC is very less. What is our employee benefit expenses compared to our revenue? 8-9%. Maybe, some companies here and there. If you start paying, there will not be even 50 people in a mill. This 9 may become 9.05%. But trust me, these people will be with you. So there is a scope. When we say what should we do, please pay them well, particularly at junior level. Senior level will anyway demand. If you don't pay, they will not be with you. And the pandemic has taught us another thing. There has to be a good work-life balance. When even I started, I came from the institute, leisure life. I was told by first time it is 24/7. I didn't understand what is 24/7. It was really 24/7. But do we have to have 24/7? We should not. Today you will have good people if you have a work-life balance. Otherwise, even if they want to stay, their families will not stay. So we have to spend time and energy ensuring that people have time to do some leisure activities. We also have 1 or 2 more minutes. Final challenges, I think, that's my observation. Environment and sustainability initiatives will shape the decision making at the policy levels. Those who are good corporate, they will always be governed by these initiatives. Reduction in CHG emission, whatever you may say, will be there. Countries have taken target. India has taken, our Prime Minister has taken a target about the carbon neutrality by a certain year. So how it will happen? We all have to be part of it. Consumers' emphasis. Those who are our consumer customer, they will ask not only quality and cost, how the products are made and what they are being made of, what is the material. Children are asking today, is it environmentally sustainable? And there is a danger. Smaller, older and high-cost producers will really face tough times with the kind of inputs cost today. Now, companies will definitely grow in size with diversified market segment and product offerings. That will happen. This is what COVID has taught us. Market volatility, instability will remain for some time. How long? At least I don't know. Sustainability of business and environment in true sense. I request, most people use sustainability and green very loosely. If you talk about my green product, is my operation green? Is my raw material green? Do I take care of my people? So it's a wider meaning. So please use these words with responsibility. Raw material will continue to be the main concern, whether it is wood or straw or waste paper. I think waste paper will be the worst affected. It is worst affected. And we have to take actions. I can't say just waste paper will be available. I have to be part of collection system. If we don't do it, same thing about wood. It's not, some mills are growing, other mills are just buying. It won't happen. There has to be some mechanism that everybody will have to grow, and you have to pay remunerative prices to the farmers, otherwise they will switch over to other crops. Environmental discharge and emission norms, whether we like it or not, will be further tightened. We have to be very watchful and careful. Groundwater extraction may be further restricted. Solid waste disposal, it's our responsibility under ERP. We have to take care of it. Please take all necessary steps as this ERP is going to be there. Now finally, I would like to leave you, what would we like to leave our future generation? Do we want the first one? Or do we want the bottom one, methods of waste disposal? Are we training our people? Do you want a city like this? Or do you want a city which is at the bottom? I'm not saying we all, but we have to be part of it. Do you want a dirty river like this? Or do you want a beautiful river and the waste stream running like that? With these words, I thank you very much. I have extended my time for your patient hearing. The industry has a great future. The industry has a great future. And those who are working here, please take pride that we have done. Our seniors have done a good job. We are continuing it. We will continue it. And the paper industry will flourish. One more last thing. We talk about plastics, which I forgot. Plastic replacement, there is a great opportunity, but it's not easy. I have spent 2.5 years in developing some products, and we are very close to some 1 or 2 products. There's a great scope because the application of plastic packaging is very diverse. There are hundreds of different applications. You have to choose what we want to do. With all these words, thank you very much.